I saw Eternals.
Oh, you saw it
this last week? Yeah. Yeah, the reviews are right. Super meh.
Super meh.
Super meh.
Mm-hmm.
Just meh.
Currently, Clifford the Big Red Dog has 2 more points on Rotten Tomatoes than it.
Yeah, but like Rotten Tomatoes, the way they scale things, that doesn't fucking matter.
No, but it's still funny.
Yeah, that is really, really funny. I will say Eternals, the most beautiful looking Marvel movie.
It is.
It's gorgeous. There's some shots and some special effects that blew my mind. The scale of some things, incredible. Really well done on that front. Acting across the board is good. It's just, for me, the movie just fails in writing and in editing. The editing was atrocious. And then the writing was just, it's all conflict focused, and it very rarely gives all of its characters enough time to breathe, and it's just introducing too many topics, and it just cares too much about its own bullshit for me to care.
I see.
And then, if I told you there was a character named Icarus, what would you think happens to that character by the end of the movie?
He falls.
No.
Large distances. No. Does he burn in the sun? He burns in the sun, doesn't he? Literally. He gets thrown in the sun. Is he the main villain, or is he one of the Eternals?
He's one of the Eternals.
He just goes right in the sun.
Well, I can't tell you.
You can't tell me, but he goes right in the sun.
I've already said too much for the non-spoiler, but I promise you won't care. It's funny because, like, there are deaths in this movie. Characters die.
Because there's such a large cast. They
there's a little bit of fodder in it. But I mean, not as many characters as I wished died, and there were moments where I was like, oh, that character's dead, and then they didn't die, and I was like, all right, that would have been a very impactful point to kill that character right there, but I guess not. And when I tell you, the audience I saw this movie with had a bigger vocal reaction to a pie falling on the ground than characters dying. Something's wrong with your movie, bro.
Damn.
Something's wrong.
Was it a joke scene? And it was like, it's funny. It's a pie falling.
I think it was meant to be played for laughs, but it instead it got the pie falls and the audience, like 3 or 4 different groups of people went, "Aw." Like, I was like, "Are you serious?" I turned to my mom because I watched it, and we were both like, "Are you serious? The pie?" All right.
The inanimate object.
Right.
More saddening that it fell than a character being burned in the sun.
Oh, dude, when I was numb at that point. Anyways, Connor, let's drop some sense on him, yeah?
Yeah, this isn't about Eternals. This is about video games.
What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the 2 Penny Gamescast episode. What, Connor?
69.
Yes, sir, indeed. Episode 69. Nice.
That's all that needs to be said.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you can get this show every Monday, 8 a.m., youtube.com/2pennygamescast, or any major podcast, mainstream podcast service of your choice, the Spotify, the Google Podcast, the Apple Podcast, SoundCloud. We're out here. Drop us a like, drop us a follow, share it with a friend who might care. Now, you might ask, what friends do I share it with, Tavin? You share it to your nerdy video game friends, dear viewer, dear listener. You give it to them. Because what do we do here, Connor?
We talk about games.
We talk about games. We come to you every week at this Monday, 8 a.m., nice, bright and early, to talk to you about the new news in the video game industry. We come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. However, if that's not enough for you, you can catch us playing video games live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where every Tuesday, me and my good buddy Phil sit down and we do a little show called Hype, Hyep. I forgot to say hello to the people, didn't I?
I didn't say howdy.
So I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host, Connor Elliott. Say hello to the people, Connor.
Oh, howdy.
Oh, you went and hit the yawn. Bit of a snoozer, huh, Connor? Too many late nights, too many exciting adventures.
I stayed up too late last night.
He's rubbing his face. So, anyways, you can watch us over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where we do our show Hype, Have You Ever Played, where me and Phil show each other games that the other has never played before. We just finished God of War 3 Remastered. Keep an eye out for the After the Hype review coming next week. But tomorrow, a very special After the Hype review of Jak 2 is going live. I put in some work, some editing to make the show have a little more energy. Please go check that out. give it a like, share it around, because it's a lot of fun. It's a long review. It's like 45 minutes longer than what we usually do for Jak 2. And I just give you all my feelings about that. And if you want to catch us live this week at Tuesday, 1 p.m. Central Time for Hype, what did I said the Jak review is going live tomorrow, Tuesday, 8 a.m. like it always does. I'm a little bit of a mess right now, aren't I?
Is that Veterans Day?
Dude, Veterans Day was nasty.
Yeah,
sounds like nasty at work. Anyways, it's a busy day at work for Veterans Day for us. But yeah, review Tuesday, 8 a.m. Tuesday, 1 p.m. We're going live. We're polishing off Jak 3. We're finishing it. It's gonna be done. We might be starting God of War 2018. Might. We should be able to. It shouldn't take us that long. We'll be starting God of War. So, please come by. Come check that out. A lot of good times, a lot of fun. But, Connor, let's get right into the show. Let's get to our first topic. Connor, your first penny of the day.
Never heard first.
Connor, it's award season, baby.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's coming around the corner. Now, I did see on Twitter, just moments before we started recording, the nominees are being announced, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday. They're getting announced this week. So, if you're listening to this and the nominations are out by the time we're recording, we didn't have that information. But we will go in depth and talk about it all next week. You'll eventually get a predictions episode the week before, and then you'll get a reactions episode the week after, because, you know, we love ourselves some Game Awards. We like the Keeleys, man. They're good stuff. Anyways, but Jeff Keighley sat down with Epic Games and did a little interview with Brian Crescente. Dude, your name look you take out the E's, you put in some O's, and you've got Concrete as your last name, bro. How did that happen to you? Discord, be quiet. Anyways, and you know, it's a lot of this interview. It's a lot of the you know, we're building the hype, we're selling tickets, we're doing all the things that we're doing when we're putting on a live event. But there was some interesting little notes that we wanted to pull out. So the Game Awards are coming December 9th, Thursday. I don't see a time in this interview, but that's when it's coming. Anyway, so the 8th year, last year we got like 83 million viewers or whatever, doubled the watch percentage. Keighley speaks on that, says, hey man, you know, that was great, that was awesome. We'd love to reach 100 million this year, but we understand it's not always going to happen like that, but we don't really care about the numbers, is what he says. Anyways, but last year it was all digital because of pandemic times. We had to react. We had to pivot. This year, we're back. We're live in person. Jeff Keighley says, quote, some people have said to us, oh, it worked really well last year. Why don't you just do that again and have everybody on Zoom? And you don't need to go back to the in-person event. I think we all felt that it was great that we did that, but we really missed the energy of people accepting the awards live and the reactions and all that type of stuff. So he's like, man, we want it live. We learned some cool lessons. We know how to do things a little differently, you know, around the clock. But we want to get back to the fun stuff, the live bands, the in-person acceptance of awards, you know, all of that. That's all great. That's exciting. That's fun for the culture type stuff. Yeah. Yes, Connor?
Yeah, I enjoyed those moments more than the Zoom meetings we got last year. I mean, like you said, I think they went very well. You know, they didn't really have many issues there, but
for the most part, it was fine. But I did miss the everybody dressing up and looking their best, putting on the suits, putting on the nice, elegant gowns and stuff. Laura Bailey accepted her award in a T-shirt last year, and I was like, okay, you know, but
I respect that though. No, not as much as I respect though the Schick mascot, the Razor mascot. I want him back.
Oh yeah, that's always great. We love the Schick Hydro Man.
Yeah, I love him.
Every time he comes. And then an interesting note, you know, he says, you know, quote, it's great to have celebrities. It's great to have music. But I think focusing on games is important, especially this year. There will be a lot of content for 2022 and 2023 that will be showing us our kind of biggest lineup yet of world premieres and announcements. What we really learned last year was at the end of the day, it really is the games and the trailers that drive the show. Keighley said he expects the show to feature 40 to 50 games this year in, quote, some way or another. He added that the number of new games being announced is probably in the double digits. So that's exciting. 40 to 50 games, that sounds like a lot, but how many of that is like Fortnite's got an update?
Indie game.
Dead by Daylight's got an update. Some random indie game has a trailer. We've got 10 random small indie games in a hype trailer reel thing. And you get to pick and choose whichever one looks interesting in that. So like you can run up those numbers really quickly, really easily. So 40 to 50, how many are we really seeing? Maybe a dozen. Maybe. Of actually something that's interesting. But in a 2 to 3 hour show showing me a dozen games, having a bunch of fun, celebrating the year of games we've had this last year, which has been a pretty damn solid year.
It has.
A lot of great games have come out this year.
A lot of delays, but the games that did come out were very good.
Very good. Mm-hmm. We've been swimming in a lot of 8s and 9s, and we haven't had any like 10 out of 10 like masterpieces really. We haven't had your like your Last of Us Part 2s or your God of Wars or your Red Dead Redemptions, but Returnal was great. Deathloop was fantastic. People love Death's Door. Ratchet and Clank was phenomenal. I could go on and on all day. There was a lot of great games this year. Anyways, it could be in the double digits. That's pretty much the most interesting thing that we picked from this here interview. I'm scrolling through real quick just to see if we missed anything.
Yeah. A lot of this was marketing. I mean, they're talking to him, trying to get as much information out of there so people.
It's
can
a lot of marketing. He talks about the future of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. We've barely seen
One thing he does touch on, I don't know if we'll bother reading it in depth, is the amount of people that watch the game show has continuously gone up. Exponentially last year.
Last year's jumped from 45 million to 83 million.
Very different from the other big gaming event, E3, which has seen a steady decline.
Yep.
A lot less interest in that.
Yep.
This seems to be growing every single time it comes out every year.
Yeah. And then again, he mentions, we'd love to see that growth again, but there's no way you can double your numbers every year.
Uh-huh.
We're really interested to see the metaverse, blah, 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 blah. Thinking about what we can do in Fortnite creative. Yeah, it's a bunch of marketing, a bunch of Jeff Keighley, doing his Keighley thing where he's like, how many different pots can I have my fingers in and promote and do shows and do cool stuff. But Keighley seems like a real honest guy, so I have no issue with him growing influence in the industry and so forth.
He's a good promoter.
He's a really good promoter, and he's a pretty solid host. He puts on a good show.
He does. And then, of course, he earned a lot
He does have that kind of like awkward nerdy vibe to him. So I wish we could grow past that. But, I mean, the Game Awards has pretty much consistently gotten better every year.
Mm-hmm. Then you have moments like him coming out in support of Kojima when all of that fiasco was going on.
Oh, God, that was fantastic.
Yeah. So he's a good host for this kind of stuff.
And he really does care about the culture.
He does.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's important. That's what we needed when he first came out with this show. Mm-hmm. So we're running 8 years strong. I'm excited. Connor, you're excited about the Game Awards?
I am. We'll be watching it live.
I love the Keigleys, man. I love the Keigleys.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then one funny note, he ends on this thing. There is one thing Keighley and the Game Awards aren't currently interested in. Quote, "We're not," he said, "doing any NFT stuff."
Yeah.
Which is just a funny little thing where people go, I don't even know what an NFT is, man. I don't get it. It's a picture, it's an image, it's a unique thing.
It is, but it's also kind of a scam because it's not really.
Seems like a scam.
It delivers it as if though people can buy their own images for themselves, but in reality, it's not theirs.
You hit the screenshot real quick.
Screenshot, and the people that actually make them in the first place have the actual access to them.
Yeah, and the assets and the how to actually create.
Yeah, and apparently, I don't know the specifics of this. They can actually kind of just rescind NFTs as well. Like they have the capabilities to do so. So, I mean, there was
this is what EA and Ubisoft are all excited about then?
Yep, and Discord was almost excited about, but they got shut down real
Who was
quick.
Almost excited?
Discord. They wanted to do stuff with them. And
yeah, that would have fucked up your shit, Discord. You don't get that.
No.
That's not something you get to do.
No.
Anyways. Connor, let's move on to our second topic, my first penny of the day. Connor, let's talk about these GTA trilogy remasters. For some fucking reason, what the fuck is going on with my thing here? Hold on. I went to take my codes as I always do, ladies and gentlemen, and shit got fucked. So hold on. All right, retaking GTA trilogy remasters. From all we've been able to gather, not great.
No, out of everything that's gone on this week in the gaming world, people complaining about the remasters is what I've seen the most of. Especially
Absolutely.
the rain that just completely makes it impossible to play certain parts of the game.
Yeah,
so
it's heavy rain,
heavily,
just super
like,
dark,
clouded. The
yeah,
screen,
and then it's just the like the slider is just it's set to max, and we need to bring it down to probably about. They're probably down to half.
Yeah,
so
sounds
that,
about right.
People can see what just the rain. When the game is like raining, you just can't see where you're going or driving or anything. I'm also seeing lots of performance issues. It was pretty much unplayable on PC. From the word of it, lots of glitches, lots of really damaging stuff. You really got to sit back and really, be thankful for some of the other remaster projects we've gotten, especially this year with things like Mass Effect, with how, damn near flawless that trilogy of games was released in this last year, and how, even with the small glitches and issues we did have, they got patched and fixed, and they work better now than they did. Yeah. So, really shout out to BioWare for putting in the work and the sweat and tears and really improving what we used to have, which the GTA trilogy here was what was supposed to happen. It, by all accounts, it does look great. And from what I've seen, it does look like a much higher polished version of the original games. It's just that they don't run properly. So, anyways, we're going to pull a quick PC Gamer article from Rich Stanton, where he talks about data miners are finding developer comments and unlicensed songs in the GTA trilogy. The Rockstar Games launcher on PC went down shortly after the release of Grand Theft Auto: The Trilogy. And most Rockstar titles are currently still unplayable on PC. And then a quick update, the launcher and games are back online, but the GTA trilogy remains unavailable, while Rockstar says it needs to remove files unintentionally included in these versions. Whether the launch of the GTA trilogy had anything to do with its unknown is unknown, but several GTA data miners have turned up material that may suggest why Rockstar remasters have run into problems. Firstly, the trilogy has shipped with internal developer comments visible on the code, such as the ones below. Oh, I gotta click on a link. Hold on, I gotta pull up the Twitter thing. So there's a thing where like it's a Twitter image and you pull it up, and in the code it says this shit doesn't work the way they wrote it, so we'll just show the text and place the blip at the beginning of the mission. Clearly just someone left a note and said, man, this shit's fucked here, like, we need to fix it, so on and so forth. And then there's probably, like, some other things that, like, oh, I just closed the thing I didn't want to close, god damn it. There's, probably some things that it's like, ooh, alright, maybe that should have just stayed in the private circles that it was supposed to be. But it's probably just mostly all funny shit like that. What is this? The PC Gamer asked Vadim M, who shared the above and is something of an expert data diving in Rockstar games and finding obscurities, what's exactly been left in GTA the Trilogy's files. Quote, the developers left in the files uncompiled mission/script sources. This is an internal file where they coded the scripts in the native language and made notes. Of course, these sources were never meant to be public, but in my opinion, it isn't something that's worth a takedown of the trilogy. But they also noted that this isn't the first time this has happened with a port of these games. Quote, Wardrome Studios leaked GTA 3 mission sources 10 years ago, and they were available in the game files for at least 2 to 3 updates on iOS. Wardrome Studios is the studio that became Grove Street Games, which handled the GTA Trilogy remaster. And these guys just don't seem to have their shit together. Coders leaving funny comments is one thing, even if you might not want the public to see it, who really cares? However, some data miners have found that Vice City and San Andreas may have shipped with songs that have technically been removed from the game because the licenses have expired. I contacted Ash R and asked them to explain what they were looking at in the image above. For Vice City, they've split the stations up into track order. So the songs that were cut for the 10th anniversary edition are missing here. In the screenshot above, you can see how Flash goes from _1, _2, then to _4, _3 being Michael Jackson's Billie Jean in this example. However, because they've split it up like this, it makes it incredibly easy to restore the tracks in this version by syncing it with the PS2 version and creating your own _3. I asked if the unlicensed songs were playable. Quote, the audio codec used in these games is the open source OGG Vorbis, so yes, they are playable after being extracted. Most of Unreal 4 tools can extract the file. I'm using UModel, writes Ash R. For San Andreas, every song is there. Ozzy Osbourne, James Brown, Rage Against the Machine, Tupac, etc. Ash R played PC Gamer the file of James Brown's Funky President, which contained radio chatter from the Master Sounds station. The presence of unlicensed music could, in theory, be a big headache for Rockstar. Wow, the music may not be accessible to the average user. It is in the product's files and can be accessed using certain tools, and, oh yeah, without the appropriate license. The music industry is infamously one of the most protective industries out there with no quarter given, and it could be the case that Rockstar's remasters land the company in legal hot water. So, Just left a little bit of speculation there. Why are the GTAs being pulled from PC, et cetera, et cetera? Why are they running so shit is my question. This should have been an easy slam dunk for Take-Two and for Rockstar. So it's unfortunate that they didn't quite stick the landing on that. But we live in an age where games don't come out and just be shit, and that's just what they were. They can come out and bounce back and improve, and they, just get it to run better, just get the glitches down.
Fix that rain. Everyone will be happy. Yeah, I remember.
It'll probably take a few more months. Probably should have just been delayed. Probably should have just waited a little while to make sure they were right. But these comments, the little like developer comments, not a big deal.
Nah, not
You
really.
could patch those out. Also, too, I imagine just ideally just delete it from the code because it's just text file. It does nothing.
Yeah, you should be able to just press backspace.
Yeah, you should just be able to delete and save and fix that. But then the music is a problem.
Yes, because this doesn't seem like that big of a company, and to be hit with the the music industry's lawsuits over this music,
It's about,
really screw them over.
Like with those names, you're not playing around.
No,
you're
you're
Michael
not.
Jackson, Tupac. Woo!
Yeah,
Those foundations will fuck you up.
defend their product to the grave.
Absolutely, they will.
Yeah. I remember playing Vice City on my phone.
Yeah?
And it's ran better than this so far, which
Oh,
is
my goodness.
kind of sad.
That's super sad.
Yeah.
Can you imagine loading it up on a PlayStation 5 and it not working? Like, what the hell is going on? Oh, man. So that's unfortunate. Shout out to the GTA trilogy fans out there who are, having to deal with this. And then, hopefully, you can't even play it if you own it on PC. Like, you own it and, like, the launcher's back up so you can play other Rockstar games, but you just can't play the trilogy. Like, it's just down. Like, you just can't play the trilogy on PC right now. Probably because of that reason.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of another reason unless, the devs know of some code of, like, some criminal evidence is in the code for some reason or whatever, and the data miners just haven't found that yet or something. But who knows? You could just sit here and speculate all day.
Yeah.
My guess is it's probably the music. The music's probably got to go. And
they want to avoid any kind of issues there, which makes sense.
Exactly. Speaking of issues and licenses, and along the same veins of the last topic, let's go ahead and jump to topic number 3, your second penny of the day, which is weird because it's usually something that I would talk about.
Yeah.
But you brought it forward, so we're going to respect that. We're going to respect the unspoken rules of the 2 Penny Gamescast group chat.
Yay!
Yeah.
No one can see it, so no one knows how
It's just
things
us.
work.
We have in the past sent links and been like, that story actually works better for you. But we're lazy this week, so who cares? Metal Gear Solid games are being removed over historical footage. This is a Kotaku article from Luke Plunkett, and I do want it for prosperity's sake, Connor. I knew about this story, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You said that before when I came in, when you were like, oh, you did this one. I didn't expect that, but I guess we could do it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but let's talk about it because it is interesting and sad. It does make me sad as a fan of Metal Gear Solid. Konami just announced that both Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 are being taken down from online shop fronts after issues emerged with, quote, licenses for select historical archive footage used in-game. The company's full statement reads, temporary removal of Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 from digital storefronts, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Nintendo 3DS, etc. Thank you for playing the Metal Gear series. We are currently working on renewing the licenses for select historical archive footage used in-game. Therefore, we have made the temporary decision to begin suspending the sale of Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and all products that include these games from digital storefronts globally, starting from November 8th, 2021. We sincerely ask for your patience and understanding as we work towards making these products available for purchase once again. Thank you for your continued support of the Metal Gear series. So somebody just fucked up, that wasn't on the ball, just said, oh shit, hey guys, we can't sell these games anymore because we use this footage and we don't have access to it anymore.
Which is a very weird reason for these games to be taken off.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's thankfully they're.
Wait, so like, what about Metal Gear Solid 1?
Does it have footage?
Yeah. There's historical footage in that game too.
Maybe
only 2 and 3. Maybe they
didn't have any like footage that prevented would be forced to make their game.
Remind me, Connor, when Metal Gear Solid came to GOG, it came in the package of Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid 2. Or was it just Was it just the original Metal Gear and then Metal Gear Solid and then Metal Gear Solid 2? We covered it on this fucking show when it happened. I'm pretty sure it was at least MGS1 and MGS2, yeah?
Yeah, because I remember they did like a certain version of 2. I think because there's 2 versions of 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Sons of Liberty and then
not Subsistence, that's 3, right?
That's the secondary version of 3.
Yeah.
But they used a similar word. It was another S word. I'm going to say sustenance, but I don't think that's right. It was something like that. It was Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence or whatever. Like it's a secondary version.
Sons of Liberty is the bigger, more popular.
It's just the original version.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah, I think the Subsistence version, it's just like more like extras, more goody. Like it's like I think they added the Snake Tales minigame mode where you're playing as Solid Snake and you're running through the big shell doing little missions and stuff. It's just like a little side story. It reuses a bunch of assets from the main game and stuff, but it's just a way to run around, play a snake, and do stealth missions at the big shell.
Okay.
Like there's not even cutscenes. It's all text files that pop
weird.
up and give you the story. It's just like a fun, like, oh, everybody's upset that I didn't get to play Snake here. You can play Snake now.
Yeah. Even though it means nothing.
And then I think like some extra VR stuff was added in that version or something. It's been so long, I don't remember exactly. Maybe some like extra items to play in game or something. I don't fucking remember.
Either way, one of those was put on GOG.
But like at least this doesn't mention the PC version of it. So GOG, maybe not the GOG. Maybe it's just the PS3, 360, 3DS. I assume the Vita store as well.
I mean, it's already surprising that these were taken off in the first place.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess maybe there's some small thing there where they can't take it down. Maybe they have. Maybe they signed some sort of contract. And,
right. I imagine honestly the bigger deal is 3. Because 3 heavily inserts itself into the political landscape of the 1960s, and uses a bunch of historical footage of Nazis running around and the Russians and running around and stuff. So that I imagine is a big issue. 2, I don't remember there being that much historical footage in 2. There definitely is historical footage in it, because that's just what Metal Gear kind of does. But there's not as much as there is in 3, and I think even the first game has more.
2, I remember 2 had like one segment, I think near after the big ship in the game. Maybe before then. They had like one sequence where they had where I saw historical footage, so I know they didn't have much.
Yeah, I imagine it's when you switch to Raiden,
I think that's
somewhere around there in the early cutscenes where they're still talking to you and giving you like the plot of like what's happening, and then definitely the end.
Yeah,
has a lot but the end is just like someone walking around in New York with a camera. So I don't know if like they went and took that footage themselves or if I don't know what happened. Anyways, that's unfortunate. Hopefully they get it figured out and they get it put back, because currently this is the only way to play these games is on these storefronts. I mean, until those alleged remasters come out, if and whenever and whatever form they take do come out.
Could this affect that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can't get those licenses back, then I mean, they would probably just have to re-edit the games and pull that footage out, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. You either like create new cutscenes, which will probably look terrible, or B, you
do a codex conversation.
You just cut to and you just reuse footage, or you cut to the codec or something. Or I mean, but there's like conversations that happen with like Snake is standing in front of a person and they're talking and they cut to historical footage. So yeah, I don't know what you would do there. Maybe just reuse some footage and angles, because like the lip syncing isn't perfect, so you can kind of.
They could probably find some other footage that gets the point across, but isn't. They have a license.
Yeah,
it's not
they'll have to figure. They'll have to figure out something. But I imagine they're going to figure it out and put that footage back.
Probably.
How hard is it to get that? I don't know. Probably, honestly, pretty hard. But you never know. And then I imagine Metal Gear Solid 3, this rumored remake, isn't going to use any of that at all.
Probably not,
because that just makes things more complicated. So why do it? Oh my God! You know what I just realized? They're gonna do they're gonna redo the Snake Eater theme. Oh, there's potential there. Don't fuck that up.
There's potential, but there's also a potential fuck up.
Yeah, don't fuck that up. But there's a potential we could get a more definitive version than what we have.
I have a question for you, real quick.
I have an answer.
If they made the theme different, right, and you just didn't like it,
yeah,
would you recommend that game to people? That version of the game?
There is so much more to a video game than a song.
Oh, I know, but you as a fan, like the ladder scene, the opening.
I would just play them the original song and be like, "Isn't this better?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, this is better," and then that would be it.
Is that not the same thing as feeling it from the game?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know,
and you would want to rob people of that desire and
listen,
lie to them and say that you
things,
should play this one.
There's a lot of things in the
old
Snake Eater remake that I think we can change and do different and you know really really like mess with to make a better, more accessible 2020 whatever game. The music of that game, I would argue, just don't even touch.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't even touch the music. You don't need to. You could. If you can make it a more bombastic, like, you know, bring those horns in with some more clarity and stuff. But I think the huge part is the singer they get for Snake Eater, fucking perfect. Nails it. That's where I'd be like, man, you better get someone with the exact same chops.
Yeah.
Or, you know, someone who can somehow make it better, because that's some shit that, like, I definitely don't want anything different there.
Yeah, wasn't it? It was Donna Summer. They could probably she did that one and the Phantom Maiden theme, didn't she?
No, it was not. No, it was not. No, those are two different singers. I don't even think it was Donna Summer. No, it was somebody else. You can look it up real quick. I didn't even scroll down. There's a full list of affected game shop fronts. So PlayStation 3, Vita, like I said, PlayStation Now. I didn't even know you could get the MGS on PlayStation Now. Damn. 360, 3DS. GOG, Substance. It was called Substance. GOG is affected. NVIDIA Shield is effective for Shield TV. Takedown applies today. Whether the removals of truly are temporary or could result in something like a repackaged re-release with the footage missing, we'll have to see.
Cynthia Harrell. That's who did the original.
That's it. Yep. I knew as soon as you say it, I would get it. So again, unfortunate, but you know, such are the times.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're getting a repackaged remaster of some kind down the line, this doesn't affect me. Like, or I honestly, like, if I were someone saying, "Hey, Tavin, I'm looking to get into Metal Gear Solid," I would say, "Wait, right now. Let's see what this rumored repackaging is, and what games it contains, because it might just be easier to get it on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4." Depending on when they come out, etc. Like, if they come out, like, in the next 2 years, I could see it being on PS4 easy. To which it's like, man, just wait for that. They're going to look better. They're going to play better. They're going to have 4K, etc., etc., etc. Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
So on the PS2, it had pressure-sensitive face buttons, which the DualSense doesn't have. But with adaptive triggers and some control scheme reworking, we can bring in the adaptive triggers to kind of bring back that feel of the pressure sensitive face buttons that we used to have, where it was like the harder you held the button, the further you throw the grenade type stuff. I personally wouldn't want that, because there's something about Metal Gear having the items and the weapons on the triggers that's so, like, necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting thought.
I don't think that Konami would go to lengths like that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I mean, because, like, that means you have to implement new technology.
Bluepoint would, though.
Bluepoint definitely would. They wouldn't hesitate for a second. They'd say, okay, this is the new thing on this new console.
But Bluepoint would also say, but you can play it the old way if you want. You know?
And good on that.
I love Bluepoint for that type of shit. Anyways, that's all we got. We've milked that story to death.
Oh, yeah. Talked about it longer probably than we thought we would.
Connor, final topic. My final penny of the day. The PlayStation has had its first birthday. The PlayStation 5. 1 year old their PlayStation 5. So congratulations to PlayStation 5. Jim Ryan has released a blog post on the PlayStation blog where he's just taking a victory lap. I would say it's been a pretty good year for PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they've had issues getting it to people, but
yeah,
people who've gotten it love it.
Pandemic, great. I think it's a fantastic console and it has the potential to be one of the best consoles of all time. Easy.
Yeah.
I love the DualSense, the adaptive triggers, the 6-axis, the HD rumble, all of that stuff. It's all fantastic. The 3D audio, it's all excellent. So yeah, a lot of this blog post is them just taking a victory lap, saying, "Hey man, we did it. Ratchet and Clank is great. Returnal, Deathloop, all fantastic." They take a second to say, "Hey, VR is still coming. Great things coming on the horizon. God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West, etc., etc." They've got that KOTOR remake coming exclusively to PlayStation. This is interesting. The imaginative game creators and publishing partners we work with have launched more than 360 games on PlayStation 5. Additionally, there are currently more than 25 games in development for PS5 at PlayStation Studios. That's all cool. That's all exciting. That's all fun. PS5 gamers have collectively played more than 4.6 billion hours of gameplay on PS5 and broadcasted more than 26 million hours of content. That's fantastic. Here's a look at the top 10. This is the real meat of this PlayStation blog post. Here's a look at the top 10 PS5 games played during PS5's first year based on gameplay hours. So all of this makes sense when you put that little variable of gameplay hours on it. So, top 10, we've got Fortnite, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2, MLB The Show 21, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, NBA 2K22. So, I think a very clear admission to this that is disappointing to see that it's not on this list is Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, but it's only been out a couple of months as opposed to all of these games being out from day one. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, that all makes sense. Those launch day one. They're big, long, sprawling games, anywhere from 20 to 80 hours to 100 hours, somewhere around there. So it makes sense that, gamers sunk a lot of time into it. And also, Assassin's Creed is a huge franchise. Spider-Man, I don't have to tell you how big Spider-Man is.
That was a PlayStation. Didn't it came out on the same day the PS5 was released, or was it shortly afterwards?
Yeah, it was the same day.
It was the same day. Yeah. So obviously, people who bought it, that was one of the
and
first things they played.
those were the go-tos. And I think Demon's Souls is another example of it's a go-to. It was a big hyped game. Everybody played it. It was it was our launch title to show off the glory of all the pretty graphics that the PlayStation 5 has to offer. On top of that, the Soulsborne games are, peak hype in anticipation for Elden Ring, which got delayed this week. Is that right?
It got delayed recently.
Okay,
but
maybe it was last week, and we might have even talked about
this
it
week. We just saw a bunch of network tests, so everyone's going
crazy. Oh, that's right.
about
Everybody,
it.
There's gameplay demos and stuff going on.
Yeah.
You watch any of that?
I did watch one person of it do it, but and everyone says they love it. But I obviously never even wanted to play the network if I even could get the chance to play it, because I like going into these Souls games, brand new, basically knowing very little. Maybe, like I said, seeing some bits of gameplay like I've seen, just to get a sense of what I'm expecting with this game.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring more so than others due to the fact that it's such a massive departure from games like Sekiro and Bloodborne and the first Dark Souls. So, but beyond that, I'm surprised that Returnal wasn't on here. I know that it's not as big of a game as the other ones on that list.
Yeah,
but
not as big.
It was one of the first games that came out for the PS5 as well.
Yeah.
It came out early in the year.
I would say arguably has been PlayStation's front runner, except maybe Deathloop for Ratchet was huge too. You see what I'm saying? But these games that came out this year just didn't have a chance as opposed to late last year games. And then when you're talking just based purely on gameplay hours played, okay, these start making sense. Fortnite, Call of Duty, those are free to play. Well, through Warzone, Call of Duty is free to play. So it's of course, a bunch of kids are racking up those hours crazy because that's what they do. FIFA, NBA, MLB, another NBA, Destiny 2, all these big multiplayer live service games that you sit in and you play for hours and hours and hours. And the mainstream sports games, of course, are going to rack up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of hours.
Funny enough, the only thing I was surprised at was Destiny 2, because I feel like I never think of Destiny 2 being a big PlayStation game, and many people to play that on the new console.
Yeah, it just speaks to how big Destiny 2 is,
Mm-hmm.
So, cool for those games. Good to see Spider-Man and Demon's Souls on that list. Disappointing we didn't see games like Ratchet or as you said, Returnal on that list. Deathloop obviously hasn't been out long enough to even come close to it.
Yeah.
But Returnal, not as big, so that makes sense. But Ratchet not being on there is kind of disappointing to me, because Ratchet, do we even need to talk about Ratchet and his status as a title, as an IP to PlayStation?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all know.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting stuff. Just a little note, just a little nice, victory lap for PlayStation here. Good job. I love my PS5. I'm very excited to see the future of my PS5 and all the great things to come.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully I can get it soon. I'm trying.
Fingers crossed. Every day.
Yeah. It's becoming kind of harder because I also know they're reducing the amount that they're making by like 1 million or something like that.
You gotta fight the holiday season now, Connor.
I know.
Yeah. You should have done this back in the summer, like I told you.
I've been trying. I just never got lucky.
You should have done it. Anyways, Connor, that's it for the news. Let's go ahead and jump straight into what we've been playing. Now, unlike the last couple of weeks, we've actually kind of been playing things a little bit. We're trying to get better. We're gonna get better. I'm gonna play some games this week, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
But this last week, I've been playing more Metroid Dread, just kind of slowly working my way through it. You know, unlocking new rooms, new abilities, new bosses.
On your way downtown.
Still having a good time. Metroid, still great. But what a majority of my game time has been dedicated to has been either hype. Remember, twitch.tv/2pennygames. We're finishing off some Jak 3 this week. We started it last week. We're finishing it off this week. Come join us and see that, and stay tuned for an After the Hype review coming in a few weeks. For that, remember, Jak... Did I say Jak 2 or Jak 3? We're doing Jak 3 live. Keep an eye out for Jak 3 After the Hype in a couple of weeks. Come watch us play Jak 3 and finish it this week. Jak 2 After the Hype is going live tomorrow, Tuesday, 8 a.m., remember, I did a whole bunch of editing to like kind of bring some energy to the After the Hype series. Please go watch that. Go check it out. Lot of fun stuff in there. I think it really helps us emphasize what we're talking about when we talk about the mechanics and the different moments of the game and so on and so forth. It's good stuff. Please go watch that. Go share it. But other than that, I've been trophy hunting in Spider-Man's Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man's Remastered for PlayStation 5. And it's Spider-Man, man. It's fun.
I'm trying to get that sweet platinum.
I'm swinging around trying to get those sweet platinum trophy number 62.
I figured you'd already done it by now.
I've been slow burning it. I got distracted. I put it down. I come back. You know, it's Spider-Man. You know,
it's easy, as you've said before in the past.
It's easy. It's just a little time. It's just a little bit of time. No, but I'm just plugging away, having a good time with it. Doing a little more. It's fun. You know, Spider-Man has just consistently been the game that when I'm bored and I don't feel like playing anything else, or I don't feel like playing anything in specific, I just load up Spider-Man and I'm like, let me swing around New York, let me beat up a couple of bad guys, let me play a story mission and get that hype set piece moment from the story missions, et cetera, and then like let me just live as Spider-Man for a little while. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's nice, it's relaxing, it's therapeutic, it's fun, it's just always fun. Good job, Insomniac. You made yourself a great game.
People love it. Now,
Connor, what have you been playing?
As I said to you before the show, not much. Well, the games that I have played this week have been fighting games. I've been trying to get better at Guilty Gear Strive and get better at Melty Blood Type Lumina. Recently, there was a big Guilty Gear event that took place. A new character was announced, so the hype that was being generated from that really made me want to jump back on there and play some online matches. In Guilty Gear Strive Online, there's like a level system, 1 through 10. 10 is called Heaven. So my goal has always been to try to get to Heaven. But I keep getting to level 9, maybe winning a game, but other than that, just getting shit on, which is really weird because I'm the 8th level, I'm doing great. I'm winning pretty much every match. Maybe I'll have a bad one where they, beat me 3 games in a row. But usually I can handle myself pretty well, and then 9 comes along, and then I drop down in a matter of seconds. So, still trying to get better on that, but beyond that, I haven't played many games. I'm hoping to play Tales of Arise and finish that. I know.
I don't understand how you're doing this.
Neither do I.
Just stop saying you're gonna beat it. Just
I am.
Get it when you get to it.
God damn it!
I'm gonna beat this game.
Like every week, I'm like, oh god damn, I didn't play enough this week. So, now that I remember, I did play a lot this week, and I was doing a lot of side content because there's tons of it that opened up. I encountered an issue where tons of those missions, even though they're very interesting and look like they have some sort of payoff to them, they're all over-leveled by a lot. To the point where if I beat the game, I don't know how I'd be even able to grind properly to be able to get to a higher level to do those missions. So I don't know if it's one of those things that kind of relies on a New Game Plus. I guess maybe there'll be a bunch of level gains in these next final missions because the game is wrapping up. I know that for a fact. Hopefully I'll be able to bring back the good news this next week about beating it.
Because I'm tired of hearing you talk about it. I'll be honest.
You are tired of it?
Whatever. If we can just talk about something.
Well,
but we need to get our shit together and play video games for this goddamn show.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your Two Penny Gamescast. What episode, Connor?
69.
69. Nice. Please, remember, Monday, 8 a.m. every week, this show, youtube.com/2pennygamescast. Hit the follow, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Mainstream podcast services of your choice. Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. We're out here. Drop a like, drop a follow, share it with your friends. We really, really would appreciate it. If you didn't know, I forgot to plug it. The entirety of our hype playthrough of Resident Evil 2 is now up on youtube.com/2pennygamescast. Go watch that. Phil played Resident Evil 2 for the first time ever. There's some good stuff. A lot of great conversation. A lot of good moments. Just a lot of fun to be had with that Resident Evil 2. It was a good time. Again, after the hype, Jack 2 coming up this Tuesday, 8 a.m. Please go watch that. I'm very excited about that one. And until next week, have a good week. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.